Hello and welcome back to the channel. As we are getting to the end of the year, it can be fun to look back at some of the things that I've got for my action figure collection in 2024. Usually I'm doing Black Series top 10 lists, and I've made one for this year. You can check it out on the link in the description. But because I have a nice number of other brands in my collection as well, I thought that it would be fun to rank them and see what are my top 10 figures that I've got in 2024. Now, I have to say that technically not all of these are originally from 2024. But they are re-released this year, and that's when I was able to get them, so don't take this list too seriously. I'm doing this strictly for fun. This list is only for original licensed releases, so there will be no bootlegs here. I do have a nice number of them as well, and I plan on making a top 10 list for them in a separate video, so stay tuned for that if that's something that you're interested in. One more thing, because I've already made a separate top 10 video for the Black Series, this list won't have any of those figures. Alright, let's get started. We are starting with few honorable mentions. First, I have Adam and Cringer from the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. I grew up on this cartoon and never thought that I'll have these characters in their cartoon line in an action figure from Mattel. I could have chosen any figure from this line, but I've decided to go with this 2-pack because it includes articulated Cringer. It's a fun set to mess around with, and if you are interested, I've made a posing video for it, so you can check it out. Link is in the description. After that, I have the Marvel Legends Green Goblin from the latest Spider-Man movie. This figure is really good, especially the head sculpt, and it comes with an articulated glider that looks fantastic. But the main problem with this Goblin is that he doesn't have a boot swivel, which was crucial in order to get him any kind of dynamic pose on the glider. It's a shame, such a nice looking set, but you can't get this guy in his iconic poses. Next, I have here MAFEX Boba Fett Recovered Armor. A great release, but for some reason they made him slightly too big. Everything else is really well done, but I left him off the list because, in my opinion, there are some better MAFEX figures that I got this year. Then I have Marvel Legends X-Men 97 Wolverine. That was my first ever tiger stripe version. That's the look that I grew up watching in the original cartoon, and so that's what I prefer. It's a great release, and it was hard for me to leave it off the list, but there are just so many fantastic figures that I had to do it. And the final honorable mention is the SH Figuarts Qui-Gon Jinn, the re-released version that was updated with few new accessories, including lightsaber swinging effect, soft goods Jedi robe, and his poncho. Both Qui-Gon and Maul were great re-releases with some nice updates, and I'm glad that I was able to add them to my collection. Okay, now let's get started with my top 10 list of action figures that I got in 2024. At number 10, I have Marvel Legends Doc Ock. This guy is the reason why 96 Wolverine is not on the list. We finally have a Doc Ock from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and Hasbro did a fantastic job here. The look of the figure itself is simple, but that's the live-action look of the character. The main thing here are the tentacles that are fully wired and can balance the figure when you put it in Doc Ock's iconic walking on tentacles pose. I'm not someone who buys a lot of Marvel Legends, but this one, at least for me, is one of the best that I have. At number 9 is MAFEX Bo-Katan Kryze. In my opinion, this is one of the best likenesses that Medicom ever made for their Star Wars line. The head sculpt is fantastic, and the helmet is made as an alternate accessory instead of a hollow piece that you put over the head, like what Hasbro did with their Black Series version. That gave freedom to the designer to create such a fantastic looking head sculpt on this MAFEX figure. The overall look of the body is great. Even the articulation is not as bad as I've heard some people saying, but again, it's only my opinion. If there were few more accessories included in this set, it would be higher on my list. At number 8, it's Yolopark Starscream. Yolopark is killing it with their Transformers releases, but I'm mostly interested in their G1 cartoon figures. That's the one that I watched as a kid, and I'm looking forward to see some potential other characters in this line. Starscream looks amazing. He looks like he did in the cartoon, but they gave him a nice paint wash and a paint chipping so that he looks a bit more realistic. It's the right combination of realism and animation, and I love it. Technically, it's a model kit, and you do have to put it together, but it's more of a build-a-figure thing than it really is a standard model kit. There is no spruce here or small pieces that you are afraid that you'll break. These Yolopark figures do not transform, so they are strictly in their bot mode. But I don't mind that. I would have them like that on my shelf anyway. So Starscream is a fantastic release that looks great, has a great articulation, eyes light up feature, and comes with some essential accessories. At number 7, I have MAFEX Michael Jordan in his Red Bulls uniform. This is a 20 2024 re-release, and now they are releasing this guy in the white uniform, but I wanted the red one. For me, this one is more iconic, even though if the new one included an alternate tongue-out head, I would probably get it just for that. But neither one has that, which is unfortunate. Anyway, I love basketball, I grew up playing it, and I was a huge Bulls fan back in the 90s with Jordan, Pippen, and, as a Croatian, Toni Kukoc, of course. I wanted this MAFEX Jordan for a long time, but he was always sold out, and now, with the re-release, I finally got him. The figure is great, you can get it in a lot of his iconic poses. The set includes a lot of accessories, and, as I said, the only one missing is the tongue-out alternate head that would make this a definitive 6-inch Michael Jordan. At number 6, it's MAFEX Ahsoka Tano. This is arguably the best 6-inch Ahsoka that you can find on the market. For me, it's a toss-up between this one and the figure arts version. I've made a whole comparison video about it, so in case you want to check it out, link is in the description. The only reason why I have this figure lower on my list is the head sculpt. To me, it doesn't look like a live-action version of Ahsoka, which it should represent. That is the only issue that I have with this release. Everything else is fantastic. The amount of stuff that you get here is amazing, and the main star out of all the accessories is a wired poncho that just gives you so many posing options and makes this figure even better. At number 5, it's the SH Figure Arts Ahsoka Tano, and as I said, it's a toss-up between MAFEX and this one. Figure Arts also gives you a nice number of accessories, but in this set, poncho is not wired, and that's too bad. It's also made out of a stiffer fabric, so it doesn't lay as natural on the figure as the MAFEX one, but the figure is fantastic, and the head sculpt is one of the best in the SHF Star Wars lineup, at least for me. You get few different face expressions that give you more displaying options, and it's just a fun figure to pose and mess around with because articulation is great. Again, you can easily swap the SHF and MAFEX version on this list. Both figures are equally amazing, and I would even say that if you are into accessories, you should go with MAFEX because it has a slight advantage in that department. At number 4, I have Yolopark AMK Pro Series G1 Optimus Prime. All the things that I've said for Starscream apply to this figure as well. It's a fantastic G1 representation of an iconic Autobots leader. The sculpt, paint job, articulation, and just the overall look and shelf presence, this figure has it all. This was my first Yolopark figure, and I was blown away by the quality and love that these guys have put into this release. Again, it doesn't transform, but I don't mind it because I prefer the bot mode. This Prime is one of the best figures that I got, not only this year, but in my collection in general. I love it. At number 3, it's MAFEX Daredevil. This could possibly be one of the best figures that MAFEX ever made. It's the classic comic book look that we all know and love, and it's on a body mold that is so well made. It looks good, and the articulation is fantastic. You need this figure to be almost equally flexible and posable as Spider-Man, and Medicom delivered. If you get this figure, you will have a lot of fun posing it in all kinds of dynamic looking poses. And not just because of the articulation, but also because it comes with some great accessories, out of which the wired billy clubs are the ones that stand out. There are fantastic alternate head sculpts included here as well, and the paint job on this guy is also fantastic. All in all, it's a masterpiece figure and obviously one of the best in 2024. At number 2, I have MAFEX Mandalorian 2.0 version. If you are looking to get only one definitive Din Djarin Mando for your collection, look no further. This is the one that you should get. Once again, Medicom killed it on the sculpt and paint with this figure. The proportions are right, articulation is nice, especially for armored character. He has a wired soft goods cape that makes the figure look even better. And then, in terms of accessories, this guy comes with everything, and I mean everything that you need for your Mando. The rifle, the knife, pistol, grappling hook, spear, darksaber, fire throwing and jetpack boost effects. You get all of it. And on top of that, you get unhelmeted Din Djarin head that looks fantastic. Next to Bo-Katan, one of the best head sculpts in the line. They even give you two versions of Grogu, a full figure and a figure in a pouch that Mando carries around with him. And then, to finish it off, you get a ton of alternate hands and the standard MAFEX flight stand. This right here is your ultimate 6-inch Mando figure and a must-have for your collection. And finally, my number one figure that I got in 2024 is Sentinel Peter B. Parker. I know, originally it's not a 2024 figure, but this is a re-release from this year. If it wasn't for this Spidey, Mando would easily be my number one figure of the year. But this is Spider-Man, a crazy articulated Spider-Man. Sentinel made made one of the greatest Spidey figures ever, and with a seemingly simple design, they managed to give him an incredible range of movement. When you add to that the overwhelming amount of stuff, the accessories that are included in this set, you could say that this is the most fun Spidey figure for posing ever made. You can get 3 different looks out of this one figure, and with alternate heads you get so much expressiveness that will make it so much fun to create all kinds of situations for your toy photography. After all, it's Spider-Man, one of the most popular superheroes in the world, and with a little bit of creativity you'll get tons of ideas for posing. The joints are so smooth and the figure is so easy to pose. It's just an overall amazing figure to have, and it's one of those figures that you always keep close to you because you always want to mess around with it. So again, even though it's a re-release, this is the year when I got it, and that is why Sentinel Peter B. Parker is my #1 figure in 2024. So there you go. That was my top 10 list of action figures that I got in 2024. Now, I would love to hear you guys. How would you rank these figures? Which one out of these you think should be #1? What is the #1 figure of 2024 in your collection? Let me know all of that down in the comments. As always, a special thank you goes out to my Patreon supporters for helping me to keep making my videos. Everything earned on Patreon goes into the channel's content, so my link will be in the description in case you can join and help. If not, that's also okay. You are still helping simply by watching and sharing my videos. And before I finish off this video, I just wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to all of you guys who are here and who are supporting the channel through these few years. I am so grateful that I can be in a position to do what I love and to be a part of action figure collecting community. A lot more is coming in 2025, so stay tuned for all of that. I wish you all happy holidays, a happy new year, but above all, much health and happiness. Take care of yourselves and enjoy the end of the year. Thank you for watching, thank you for being here with me, and I'll see ya in the next video.